Shalom, Israel. I want to say I hope you're blessed on this Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad across the whole earth. And I want to thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Children of Light Israelites. And today, the Children of Light will bring forth some clarity and some understanding on a particular subject. This particular subject or teaching is called the Promised Land. I'll be your teacher for today. My name is Watchman Corner A, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Now, the Promised Land. As you can see, everyone is in the so-called Middle East, which is a Eurocentric way of saying, because there is no such thing as the Middle East. But the Middle East, everyone is fighting over a particular land. You have the Palestinians saying that this land is theirs. You have the so-called Khazarian Jewish people, Edomites, claiming that the land is theirs, saying it was promised to them. But who is this land promised to? Okay? Who will make it to this land? Alright? What's the spiritual significance behind the Promised Land? We're going to deal with all these subjects today. We're going to bring forth some clarity. We're going to bring forth some light so that you may get understanding. We're going to start with Joel chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Joel chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Read.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
They have scattered the Israelites amongst the nations and have parted the land. Now, verse 1, it says, in those days and at that time will I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Meaning, the captivity of Judah, which is the southern kingdom, and Jerusalem, which is the northern kingdom, will begin to be lifted off of us. We will start to understand again who we are, come back to our heritage. The Most High will begin to awaken us once again, the 12 tribes of Israel. He said he will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat is a place around Jerusalem, in the outskirts of Jerusalem, and there will he plead with all nations for his heritage Israel, because they have scattered us amongst the nations and they have parted the land. You see that? They parted the land, they scattered us amongst the nations. According to this scripture right here, the people who are in the land, the so-called Jewish people, are not the real people. According to this particular verse, it tells you the real Israelites, Judah and Jerusalem, shall be in captivity. And they shall be what? Sold unto all nations. And the land shall be parted. So let's deal with this land, because we have a lot of wars going on for this particular land, because Satan knows this is the best land. This is the capital of the earth. This is the best land on this earth. And Satan wants it for itself, because this land was promised to a particular people. Let's get into these promises. But we're going to directly precept that with Luke 21 and 24. Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And this is going to give you a precept to show you that the people in the land are not the Israelites, that the land is being trodden under feet, that the real Israelites were what? Scattered amongst all nations. Luke chapter 21, verse 24. Read.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So, As you can see, the real Hebrew Israelites was led captive unto all nations. And the land, Jerusalem, shall be trodden down by the Gentiles. So there's a particular time frame for the Gentiles to be in our land, because we was disobedient. The land vomited us out. We went into captivity. We served all nations. We served every empire and every kingdom, every beast. Okay? Because an empire, a kingdom, is a beast. All right? Daniel 7:23 tells you that. So, we have served all nations. We have been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Our land is being trodden down by the Gentiles. There's a particular time frame for them to have our land in their custody. So, we're going to see who this land was promised to, because the people who are in the land right now are not physical descendants of Jacob. All right? It's Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. For you to be an Israelite, a Hebrew Israelite, you have to be a part of one of these 12 tribes. If you're not a physical descendant of one of these 12 sons, you are not an Israelite. And the people in the land are not physical descendants. So let's deal with who this land was promised to. We're going to go to Exodus 12 and 25. Exodus 12 and 25. Because when the Most High makes an oath, he keeps his oath. When the Most High swears greater than no one, he swears to himself. All right? And he's going to keep his oath, because there's two infallible things. The Most High cannot lie. So, Exodus 12 and 25.
And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Most High will give you, according as he hath promised.
According to what?
As he hath promised.
As he has promised. Read.
That ye shall keep this service.
Keep the service. Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's telling you the land that was promised to our forefathers, the land that was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It tells you, all right, to keep the service. All right? We're going to keep it moving. Genesis 15 and 17. Genesis chapter 15 and 17, because this land was promised to a particular people. And if you're not a direct descendant of this bloodline, how could you take hold to this land? Now, we're dealing with the physical land. There is a spiritual aspect to the promised land as well. We're going to get into that. Right now, we're dealing with the physical promise that was made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 17.
And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces.
Mm-hmm.
In the same day, the Most High made a covenant with Abram.
A covenant, a binding agreement, read.
Saying, unto thy seed have I given this land.
Unto thy what?
Unto thy seed have I given this land. From the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
Unto thy seed have I given this land. From the river of Egypt, which is a brook on the southwest border of Palestine, flowing into the Mediterranean Sea. All right. A reference is Numbers 34 and 5 to show you that the river of Egypt is a brook on the southwest border of Palestine, flowing into the Mediterranean Sea. Now, the great river, the river Euphrates, the largest and longest river of Western Asia, rises from two chief sources in Armenia mountains and flows into the Persian Gulf. So from the Persian Gulf all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, where this river, the Egypt River, flows, that's the land that was promised to the Israelites, which is not what you think is the geopolitical state of Israel today. That is not the correct land. It's way more land than that. That's why they're fighting over the land. They're fighting over a promise that was not given unto them. Now we're going to keep it going. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 9. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 9. Because as you can see, they're fighting over a land that's not even theirs. It wasn't promised to you. You're a direct descendant from Edom. How could you claim the land of Jacob? You know why? Because y'all feel some kind of way in your heart that Jacob has the promises and Edom sold his birthright. So y'all gonna take it by force. It says what? The kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent taking it by force. They took it by force. Okay, Hebrews 11, verse 9.
By faith he sojourned in the land of promise.
By first he sojourned
In the land of promise.
in the land of promise,
As in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob.
with who?
With Isaac and Jacob.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He dwelt in the strange land, the land of promise, because Abraham was called out from his original home to what? Inherit the land of Canaan. He dwelt there in tents with him and his son and his grandson, and a promise was made unto him. Now, we're going to go to that promises. Genesis chapter 12, verse 6 and 7. Genesis chapter 12, verse 6 and 7. So if you're not a direct descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, there's no way you can take claim to this land. Go ahead.
And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Morah. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Most High appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land.
What did you say?
Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Ahiah, who appeared unto him.
The Most High appeared unto Abram. Alright? We know that his word always appears, which is the Mashiach, in the name of Ahiah. Alright? He appeared to him in the land of promise. He said, I will give this land unto thy seed. And he's not talking about the bond seed. He's talking about the woman seed, the free seed, not the bond woman, but the free woman. Not Hagar, which is Ishmael over there trying to take over the land, but who? But Isaac, the promised seed, not Esau, but who? But Jacob. So you have Ishmael and you have Esau over there fighting. Everyone has made a pact. Psalms 83 made a pact against the children of Israel, a silent they are confederate together against the children of Israel to take us down, take away our identity, take away our land, scatter us to the four corners of the earth, how the Most High said we would be, in the curses. And guess what? Edom turning around and now he killing off your children. He bombing your place. People over there dying every day now. Recompense, reward. You worked for this. When they were slaughtering the children of Israel, you had nothing to say. You made a secret confederacy. You made a pact with Israel. Now what he doing? Killing Ishmael, killing the Palestinians, killing everybody in the land now. Because that land is neither promised to you or your people or your descendants. It was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. You have no right to be in that land. But according to as the scripture have said, the land of Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Your time running up. It's about time to get up out of our land. Because we're waking up. All praise to the Most High, we're waking up. Now, we're going to go to Genesis 17 and 8. Genesis 17 and 8, because we're waking up. You can say it doesn't matter who the children of Israel are. You can say, oh, we don't know who the children of Israel are. They were scattered. We can't really say who they are, but guess what? The Spirit bears witness who they are. The Scriptures bears witness who they are. The curses bear witness who they are forever. You understand that? Forever. Okay. Genesis chapter 17, verse 8, the oath.
And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession.
For what?
An everlasting possession.
For what?
For an everlasting possession.
An everlasting possession.
And I will be their power.
He will be our Elohim. You understand that? It's an everlasting possession of the seed of Abraham. And I already explained to you, not Ishmael, because Ishmael was a seed, he was not the promised seed. The promised seed is who is Isaac. Who are the sons of Isaac? Esau and Jacob. Jacob was the promise. Jacob got the promises. Jacob got the blessing. Esau didn't. So, according to that, we know who the seed belongs to. The 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob. All right? It was an oath. Okay? Now we're going to go to Genesis 26, verses 1 through 3, because this oath continues throughout the scripture to show you who the Most High promised this land to. The promised land is promised to us. Genesis chapter 26, verses 1 through 3.
And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine there was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Most High appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. The oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father.
The oath! Now, it was impossible for the Most High to lie. When he swore, because he could swear by no one greater, he swore by himself. Right? So, you're going to see the Most High swore this land to a particular people. All right? And he's confirming his oath right here with Isaac. All right? Now, Hebrews 6, verses 16 and 17. Hebrews 6, verses 16 and 17. Because an oath is a promise. It's a covenant. It's a binding agreement. When you agree to something, there are stipulations, there are established borderlines that need to be met and established objectives that need to be met so that this oath can go smoothly. So, Hebrews chapter 6, verse 16 and 17.
For men verily swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them an end of all strife. Wherein Ahiah, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath.
By what?
By an oath.
By what?
By an oath.
He confirmed his covenant by an oath. All right? Immutable counsel. That means you can't do nothing. There's no way you can stop this. You can't stop it. The Most High swore by himself because he can swear by no one greater. So no matter what you Gentiles say, no matter who you say the land belongs to, it's not your land. You got a time frame to be in the land because you are utterly abominizing our land. The acts that you're doing in our land right now is abominable. So, there is a part of the land, the southern kingdom, that is desolate at a particular point. But what they call Israel right now is just a piece of it. All right? It's not the whole landmass of Israel, like I stated earlier. All right? Luke chapter 1, verse 70 through 74. Because when the Most High makes an oath, we already know his counsel is immutable. You can do nothing with it. He will not make an oath and not fulfill it. It's impossible for the Most High to lie. Okay, Luke chapter 1, verse 70 through 74.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant.
To perform the mercy promised to our fathers, that we will be in our land, that we will have dominion, that we will rule once again from our enemies that hate us. Everyone hates us in this world. Most of us hate ourselves as well, under the curses. Okay, we're going to keep going because that was the oath that was given. Now, we're going to see who made it into the promised land, right? We're going to see who made it into the promised land. Because out of the whole generation of the children of Israel who came out of the promised land, only Caleb and Yahshua made it. Moses didn't even make it. Let's take a look at that. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 4 through 5. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 4 through 5. He saw it, but he was not able to make it in. Because the Most High told Moses to speak to the rock. Moses struck the rock. The rock was a representation of Hamashiach. It was like he was openly crucifying Hamashiach twice and doing despite to the Spirit of grace. So he didn't make it into the promised land. He got to see it. He didn't make it in. Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 4 through 5. Read.
And the Most High said unto him, This is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over hither.
But what?
Thou shalt not go over hither.
The Most High let Moses see it, but he did not go over thither. He could not see. He could not go into the promised land. He saw it. He couldn't enter. Moses was the man of the Most High. How many of you Israelites think you're going to make it in? The scripture says the righteous scarcely make it into the kingdom of heaven. Y'all better tighten up. This is the spiritual aspect of it. We're going to go deeper because he saw it, but it didn't enter. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 10 and 12. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 10 and 12. We're going to show you that a generation who didn't make it, and why didn't they make it? We're going to tell you exactly why they didn't make it. Because people are just disobedient. The Israelites are very stiff-necked people. You have some that have a zeal for the Most High, but a lot of them not according to knowledge. So Hebrews chapter 3, verse 10 and 12.
Wherefore I was grieved with that generation, and said, They do always err in their heart, and they have not known my ways.
They have not known the ways of the Most High. They always err in their heart. They murmured in the wilderness. That's why they didn't make it into the promised land. Jump to chapter 4 and read verses 5 and 6.
And in this holy place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief.
Because of what?
Because of unbelief.
They did not enter into the rest. That rest was the promised land flowing with milk and honey. They did not enter in because of unbelief. Like today, you know how many Israelites are going to die because of unbelief? They don't even believe that they're Israel. They believe that they're Gentiles. They don't have to keep the law because I'm a Gentile. With that kind of philosophy, you will be put to death. You will be a 2/3. You will be burnt up with fire. You will be wood. Because gold is purified in the furnace. You will be wood. You will be burnt up because of unbelief. Read 8 through 11. Hebrews 4, 8 and 11. 8 through 11.
For if Yeshua had given them rest, then would he had not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Ahiah.
Yes.
For he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works, as Ahiah did from his.
Wow. So there remaineth a promise to enter into his rest. What is this rest? The promised land. This is the spiritual significance of it. You're not going to enter into this rest thinking you're going to be living like a hellraiser and a heathen, not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You think you're going to enter into this rest? No, you will not. All right? The new heaven, new earth, the 1,000 years of peace. You will not enter into this 1,000 years of peace living like a hellraiser. You will not enter into this 1,000 years of peace with unbelief. The Most High said he was grieved with that generation. 40 years. They murmured. They saw his works and still murmured. A lot of y'all still murmuring. You seeing all the wars. You seeing people's heads being chopped off. Kids being bombed. You see the world going to hell in a handbasket. You still murmuring. Oh, I want a car. Oh, I want a new house. Oh, I want to. You better focus on the kingdom. You better want that. Because it's a lot of room in the lake of fire. And a lot of y'all going. So, we're going to go to Isaiah 14:1. Because it's going to come a point where the real Israelites will get back in their land and it will not be war. That's how you can tell that these so-called Jewish people are not the real people. They've been warring ever since they got there in 1948. They've been warned ever since they got there. That's against the scriptures. Isaiah 14:1. Read.
For the Most High Ahijah will have mercy on Jacob. On Jacob. And will yet choose Israel. And set them in their own land.
And well?
In their own land.
Right.
And the stranger shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
He's going to set us back in our own land. And the stranger's going to cleave to us. They're going to respect the Israelites. They're going to know who the real Israelites is and respect them as the children of Allahayim, as the children of Ahijah, Ashar, Ahijah. You're going to respect us as the holy priest of Allahayim, Ahijah. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 3. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 3. And this is going to show you that we're returning back to our own land. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't care how much you fight, bicker, and kill each other over in our land. The only reason we're scattered is because we have to understand that we have to be obedient to the Most High's law. There is no other way because the commandments are life. Read.
For lo, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will bring again the captivity
there
of my
go again.
people.
He shall bring again the captivity. He's going to start to wake us up. Read.
I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Most High, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it.
They shall what?
They shall possess it.
The Israelites shall possess their own land. The captivity is being lifted off our minds spiritually. When we get in sync with the Most High Spirit, it's on. It's on. Our land is coming back to us. There's nothing you can do about it. As it is written, so shall it be. Now, Jeremiah 30:10, read verse 10 in that same chapter.
Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob,
Fear not.
saith Ahijah, neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity.
Right.
And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
And none shall make him afraid. Jacob shall return to their own land, and shall be quieted, and none shall make him afraid. None. All right? Now, Revelations 20:6. Revelation chapter 20, verse 6. And this is going to show you that that rest was 1,000 years of peace that was given unto those who did not receive the mark, who did not receive the image of the beast, either their right hand or their forehead. Revelation 20:6. Read.
Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of Ahijah and of the Mashiach,
Yes.
and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
1,000 years. 1,000 years of peace. We shall be in our own land. No one shall make us hurt or want for anything. The Most High shall be our God. The Mashiach shall be our King. 1,000 years of peace. Now, last scripture for the day, and we're going to close out on this teaching, the Promised Land. Isaiah 66, verse 12 through 14. Read.
For thus saith Ahiah, Behold, I will extend peace to her like a river,
Like a river.
and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dangled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Most High shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies.
So, we shall be in our own land again. The Most High, we shall rejoice, and our bones shall flourish like an herb. And the Most High's hand is going to be known towards his holy prophets and towards his enemies. You're going to know who the children of the Most High is. You're going to respect us. You're going to know that this land belongs to us, and you're going to respect what the Most High has to say. Now, I hope you got some understanding with the Promised Land. You acting up, you ain't making it in. The Gentiles, you got to get out of our land. Right now, you have a time frame to be fulfilled. With that being said, Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Peace.